right, welcome back to the one and only MICPT.com podcast. And today we're featuring a special guest, shall we say, documentary style for the one and only Wrestling Hall of Famer, Joey Davis Jr. Absolutely. So I'm going to start right away by showing, if you don't know already, he has a tattoo on his arm that says Black Ice because he's known as Joy Black Ice Davis. That part right there. Absolutely. And then on behalf of his father, this is a follow up podcast to feature more about his son. And there he is with the one and only, you know her, Serena Williams. Absolutely. So let's get started. I'm going to feature a video here. Let me present that to you. And it's a lot. As it go toward. All right, so let's start right away with this one. All right, starting right away, know that Bellator's Joy Davis influenced by LeBron James, Rampage Jackson, Malcolm X. All right, so remember you can always come back to it, but just know that we are looking forward to people assisting with uh, if at all possible, if you know anybody that can assist with helping this young man to gain a or be gifted a key to the city of Compton. All right, that is the focus, and this is the background. If you haven't been introduced to him, please know that he is awesome and he is a Hall of Famer from Compton. All right, so let's start. Considering the personalities who have come into his orbit at various points in his life, you can't blame Joey Davis for believing that he's destined for greatness. This is an article by Alexander K. Lee, and this was in 2014. Mind you, he's been wrestling since he was a child. So, a lifelong friend of fellow Bellator fighter AJ McKee and his father, 15-year MMA veteran and coach Antonio McKee, the 24-year-old Davis, was developing a well rounded combat sports portfolio long before he had any inclination to step into the cage as a pro. It was on the collegiate wrestling scene that Davis established himself as a star, going 133 0. That means zero for Division II, Notre Dame College in Euclid, Ohio. He won 4 national championships, is the only D2 wrestler to ever go undefeated, and is only the third NCAA wrestler to accomplish the feat. The other two, Matt Legend, Kale Sanderson, who did it in D1, and former UFC fighter Marcus Levy. Sorry, Levesher, if that's it. I'm like, oh my God, so sorry. But Davis doesn't want to be known as just an elite wrestler, nor as just a world champion in MMA. He's actually still enrolled at Notre Dame College, working to get his degree in communications and allocating other free time to an internship with Uninterrupted, the digital company founded by 4-time NBA MVP LeBron James. While he's certainly not shy about being interviewed, his goal is to someday be on the other end of the microphone. One day, I want to be doing something you're doing, interviewing people, Davis told MMA. And yes, that was in 2014, but just to share information, just to get started, how exciting, how passionate is he right there. So make sure I'm sharing the screen. I'm going to reshare to present to you a video here. Absolutely. So just wanted to give you some background there about his dad too. Awesome. Ill abridged. What would you all do?
What we doing now? Talking about it, getting together, showing each other
Documenting the
love.
problems and figuring out solutions.
Right, right.
Mhm.
But the only thing I say, Monk, we got to have some people behind us for power, you know.
Absolutely.
And it starts in that city hall. Somebody got to hear our cries, man. I don't care what color you are. You do something great, and it changes the city, like my son did, and you rep Compton 25 years like he did. You
Hmm.
deserve some love, you know.
Absolutely.
I don't care what color you are. But it
Man,
just so happens my son just ain't never had nobody to do it. He ain't never had no competition. I wanted competition. I wanted more people to wrestle in Compton, but like I said, they laughed at me. Man, this old gay looking stuff. Now everybody went wrestling and
yeah,
UFC and all that. But when we started, you know, they thought it was weird or something. But they used the same suit my son wear for track.
yeah,
What are you talking about? It don't
Wow.
make sense to hate, you know.
Exactly. Absolutely. And there's more to that video. You can go to micpt.com podcast and watch the full video. And now going forward to share more information about the one and only Joey Davis Jr. Absolutely. We have here, there is, he's my dad. Let's share from when he was younger. He's my dad. And let me play that here. It's a real so let me go back. Amen. I saw there was a video. All right. Uh-oh. He's my dad. It's related to that one. Okay. Let me see. Let me re-share and we're gonna see about this one. So we have a lot of articles, but here we go.
The new book is entitled From Compton to Cleveland. That's just the beginning to this remarkable story. I'm Michael Reel, and this is Real Urban News. We are in the octagon with Bellator professional fighter Joey Davis.
Joey Davis, Black Ice. 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 Joey Davis, Black Ice.
What are you thinking about when you step into the octagon?
Just each day get better at what I do. You know, I just want to become whatever I do. I just want to become great. I was good in wrestling, but now in MMA you got to be good at all. You know, the jiu-jitsu, the boxing, the wrestling, the Muay Thai. So it's a martial art that I'm just trying to conquer and become great at. So each day I step in here, it's just getting 1% better. You know, each and every day.
In layman's terms, what is MMA?
Just some mixed martial arts. I guess it's just it's a sport that's new and up and coming. You know, when you can do all your attributes. If you was like I was saying, if you was a boxer, you want to do a little bit more with yourself. You want to throw kicks. You want to become a takedown artist. You know, martial arts is a sport to come to. If you're a wrestler, you want to make a little bit more cash, or you just want to, let people know you're not just a dynamic wrestler. I think mixed martial arts is a sport to come to. If you're a Muay Thai guy, you want to do takedowns, and you want to get in the cage, and you want to make some more money, I think this is a sport to do. So I just think it's a sport to where you can just come into yourself and become the greatest you can be. That's what I honestly think. Just becoming the greatest you can be at something that you probably didn't think you could have.
When we met in 2011, which was a long time ago, you were still in high school and still a wrestler.
Yes.
Did you see yourself in the cage?
That's a good question, Michael. I always seen myself as a champion. Ever since I was little, I always hung around champions, been around champions. So wherever I knew I was going to become in, I was going to be good at. Mixed martial arts was something that I just watched growing up. I was a big NFL dreamer. I wanted to come in the NFL and become a football player, but mixed martial arts was something that was exciting to see, at the time. And when my coach Antonio McKee had his own gym, I was just very fortunate enough he let me come in there and practice at the time when I was young. And I just wanted to go full force with it and see how I'll do. And now I'm 5-0.
You got a book out called From Compton to Cleveland.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
It's just something that I wanted to do to not, be sitting at home, and I don't want to be known as just an MMA fighter. A lot of kids where I'm coming from, don't have a lot of outcomes to do. So, coming out with my book, I just wanted to let people know that I am from Compton. Want to let people know that there are successful people out of Compton. I want to let people know that there are dreams that come true out of Compton. And one of mine came true, especially with my book, getting my story out there, letting people know who I am really and things like that. So the book was just a bonus to my career. I'm just thankful for the Lord. I'm thankful for my dad for helping me the most, put it together, and putting it together to make me happy to see, what my dreams can really be.
When we met those many years ago, you talked about your father.
Mm.
What has he been to you in your career? He's been right by your side the entire time.
No words, great dad. All I can ask for that. Just thank God for. There's a lot of dads out there who didn't take care of their kids, but my dad stuck with me. All of my mistakes, I have a really good set of family, mom too, so good dad. I can ask for. I see a lot of kids without no dads, so I don't know. Just I have no words. I have no words for it. Just blessed.
My dad's just my number one fan, my biggest support. I'm just fortunate and blessed enough that I did have my father that could help me and push me through circumstances that I never thought I could be. There's a lot of times I didn't want to do things, and my dad was like, "Hey, man, we didn't come this far just to cut short." You know what I mean? There was a lot of steps. I was like, "Oh, I'm here, Dad. I done enough. I thought I done this," and he was just my number one fan. Like, there's people out there who still want more. There's people out there that can still come and take your spot. So I always keep that in mind, and that's what my dad's been just a blessing, truly disguised. No matter how much, we have the father and son arguments, the father and son tantrums. Having your father or having anybody that's your support, it's just, it's words can't even explain how much it's benefited me. There's a lot of times I just was like, what's the point? What's the purpose? And, that number one support or whoever that is could be, your favorite cousin, your mom, your uncle, your best friend. Sometimes, it could be that one person that just pushes you to your next level.
What's challenging about your life?
That's a good question. What's challenging is just me and myself, seeing what do I really want to conquer for myself. I accomplished a lot being from Compton, and I've done things that I never thought I could do. So God has just truly blessed me. But now I'm just, pretty much just seeing for myself and battling myself each and every day, like how great can I be? What do I really want out of myself? What do I really want to do in my career? What do I really want to be in life, 10 years from now? So that's the challenge right now, just seeing what do I really want to do for myself.
Keep working. Nice.
Out of the fighting and out of the book writing and being a young author, you graduating from Notre Dame.
Yes.
In Ohio. Tell us about that.
Oh, just a tremendous school, Catholic school. Cleveland made me who I am. You know what I mean? I know I was born in Compton, but I spent the majority of my maturing years in Cleveland. And that trenches cold, seeing how the people is out there, just very low key, very just, a different life, slower paced life. And that just helped me gather all my thoughts, gather all my accomplishments up and letting me know what I could truly do in myself. So Cleveland was just a blessing in disguise. And I'm just thankful that I got to go out there and see some of those beautiful people.
Do you feel you're missing something because you're clearly mature? Do you feel you've missed some things in life? You've been focused on fighting. You've been focused on education and family. Have you missed anything?
That's an excellent question, Michael. I missed, a few parties and birthdays and things like that, but it was all for a better cause. That's what I was taught growing up as a kid. It's going to be for a better cause. It's going to be for, you're going to see why I'm doing this later on. That was one of the things my dad used to always say. You don't know now, but you will learn later. And I used to be like, I don't know why you always tell me that, But now, I'm 25 years old. I'm becoming my own young adult, and I'm just seeing the big picture. But anything I'm missing, just making sure that I'm, keeping the Lord first. That's the only thing I don't want to miss. So I can make sure that I'm doing all the right steps each and every day and making sure that he's leading me on the right path, and I feel that I'll be fine.
We don't see a lot of African-American young men in this sport. I know you talked about being an NFL dreamer. Mm-hmm. Is this something that African-American men like yourself should look to advancing into in terms of sports and professional?
Absolutely, Michael. I feel like anytime you want to be, you want to work towards something and you want to see about yourself what you're really made out of, being with a team not always might be your best interest, because you got a lot of players you probably want to be like, got a lot of players you probably see that you can be yourself, but a lot of the time that's not you. So I think MMA is a sport where you can really dig down deep into yourself and find out what you're really about. And that's what I've been trying to figure out. Like, am I really for this? Like, all the gritty practices, all the blood, sweat, and tears. Like, okay, is this good for me? And I see a lot of people come in and out of the gym, and they find out that this is not the sport for them. So MMA is definitely a sport to find out what you're really made of.
How important is it that you have this kind of camaraderie?
Without that, it's a lot of downs to this game.
Coach, this is the family business for you all.
Yeah, it's a family business, and it's also love. We put God first, and everything else falls in place. I got a bunch of ugly ass guys here, breath smell, and I got to train with them every day. I got to love what I do in order to do it, especially when they breath smell.
All right.
No, my breath. I'm the one that don't stink. My breath.
It's breathalicious.
Try it. Hydrate.
Slice be hitting people too hard. They need to know how to hit a little softer. Hit a little softer.
Only when they in camp. If they in camp, we doing rounds, then I have no choice. I got because then in a fight, the guy's not coming out there to hit soft. You know what I mean? And I know I hit hard, so I could try to. If they could take.
Slice got the greatest 1-2 punch of them all.
Key word: slice. You don't want to slice.
This is all business for you.
Business and family, it's a business once we step into the cage and once we're in front of Bellator and everything else. But behind the scenes, it's all family. It's all love, especially in the gym, in our gym, Team Body Shop.
Sure. You have a fight coming up.
Yes, sir.
You ready?
I was born ready, man. This is what I love to do. It's my teammates. They keep me ready, even when I'm not ready. They prepare me and make sure I'm ready. There's many fights where I went in there and fought when I shouldn't have fought. My dad's like, dude, you shouldn't go fight. I'm like, I need this fight, So they make sure I'm ready and they just push me to my plateau of my limits, They're always pushing me to do better and to be better inside and outside of the cage.
For you, what's special about this opportunity?
Man, I just like the togetherness and how everybody just work together to make each other better.
And when you say blood, there's blood in the ring.
Oh, absolutely. It's blood in the ring, it's blood in your practices. Every now and then you see things you don't want to see. You got a weight cut, you got to be disciplined in certain areas about your practice, how you practice, when to practice. It's a lot of stepping stones to being, a champion and being a great champion.
Well, that's a bad cut. Absolutely. Wow. Wrestlers love this position. Yep.
Right in his wheelhouse. Matt Hughes special.
He's in trouble. Oh, big elbow. Davis looking to finish it right here, right now.
Now it's running into the eyes. You see when he had to turn to his right. Blood starts running into both eyes.
It's all over. Joey Davis.
You turn it on when you get in the ring. You're kind of mild-mannered outside. When you get in the ring, you're all business.
Oh, it's all business. I have two sides of me. I got the black ice side and I got the Joel side. The black ice is, very dynamic and want to be the best he can be. And I know I keep saying that and preaching that, but a lot of people don't know that I switched the flip real quick. I'm here. I want to be the best human being on the planet, but in the cage, I want to be the grittiest motherfucker you probably ever meet.
We'll leave it there.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, thanks, champ.
Joey Davis, black ice. Joey Davis, black ice. Joey Davis, black ice. Joey Davis, black ice. Joey Davis, black ice.
All right. Absolutely. So we see, wow, there's a lot going on in wrestling for sure. And there's not so many people that we know or that I know that actually, went to wrestling matches and so forth. So it was interesting to learn more about Joey Davis. Absolutely. So shout out to Joey Davis Sr. for bringing this up and letting people know that, wow, he's from Compton. And actually, Joey Davis Sr., he worked at Compton High School. Yes, indeed. So I want to share some more information here. Let me see if I could share my screen and get another look. I know there's a lot of people that love, we all love art, seem to love art from Compton. So I want to share present to you. He's got tattoos here. Let's see if I could share that from my window right there. Absolutely. And you can see Mm-hmm. Is I think if I move it over, you can see. I think it says, "With God, you can achieve anything." Absolutely, that is nice. And now going forward, see if I can share another one without resharing my screen. No, I don't think you can see that. I'm gonna have to share, and you can see another picture of Joey Davis. There he is. Awesome. There we are. Yes, indeed. With God, you can achieve anything. Absolutely. All right. And then going forward, there are more pictures here. Let me reshare that for you. And just one thing, like, how cool is this when we have somebody that is a Hall of Famer in wrestling? I had no idea. Look, oh, he was 7 years old and he's playing football. So yes, that's what Joy Davis Sr. was sharing as well. That he started with football, and then he asked him, or he shared that in the sport of wrestling, there isn't anybody that he knows of either that has practiced that discipline. And if you want to be number one in something, why not try wrestling? And from there, we now have a Hall of Famer in wrestling from Compton. Check this out. Oh, got a couple things going on. Nice. Absolutely. And let's see, it looks like I can share this one as well. Okay. Sometimes you have to reshare. And this is really neat to learn more about Joy Davis, who is who is Joy Davis Jr., who is a Hall of Famer. Come on, this is totally exciting. All right, and let me see if I can get here. There's a video as well. All right. So let me see. I did download a video, so we'll come back. Oh, we'll come back to it. I have more. You gotta love it. Absolutely. And some people say, well, it is late. You've been working all day. But no excuses. I wanted to make sure I did this video before I did take a what they call nap. Absolutely. So here my entire screen. No, I don't want to do that. Also, let me go back here. Absolutely. Thank you very much for your patience. This is live, so that way, like they say, you want to be held accountable. Go live, because it takes time to edit, and then this is in a real way. Here we go. Okay, presenting the screen right there. Sharing. Awesome. Window. I have another one. Nice. Absolutely. So you see, he's been doing things for a very long time. Awesome. And then we have another picture here that is when he was younger. as well. It's not as clear, but we'll know for a fact. We can remember when you see something in video, seems to be that he was a fullback. Absolutely. In 2001, how neat is that? He did play with the Titans. Absolutely. The Titans from Compton right there. And his father shared a plethora of footage, as you see, to share that, yes, they're from Compton, live in Compton, and like he said that he worked at the high school, Compton High School, and it's just so much to share, so many accolades, and for him to become a Hall of Famer, obviously, but for some reason or another, many of us just didn't know, just like myself. So I just feel like part of it is my duty is to present this information that he shared on behalf of his son, and with the goal to become a in receipt of this a key to the city of Compton. And here you have him. There's when he was younger as well, right there. And that looks like they may have been at Compton, one of the school. I'm not sure, but yeah, that's a little while ago. But it lets you know. Yeah, he's been working. And of course, there's a video out there about him being a Hall of Famer. And I did share that on another video that I did prior to the podcast on Saturday, this past Saturday. But this is the follow up from that. Go to work, absolutely. You're doing a wonderful job. And here's a poster in one of the schools, like Joy Davis Sr. was sharing that some elementary schools have invited Joy Davis to speak at their schools, and he actually is having some poster brought back to LA, but not this one. There's another longer one that would look really nice in Compton High School or another school. Definitely, he is doing a phenomenal job and been doing phenomenal work, for a long time. And people have been sharing his accolades in various places, and definitely according to the video, as you see, he loves Cleveland, Ohio, and that is another place where we know that there's a tremendous amount of people that are very talented and have done great things. So here, let's share something else from another presenter, just a few minutes here, and that is coming right away. Here we go. Okay.
133 and 0. 133 and 0. How can you whoop 133 motherfuckers and not lose? That is incredible on its own. That if I didn't say shit else, that is incredible on its own. Black Ice.
What's good, Mr. CT?
Devator. Look, Devator, just YouTube, whatever. You don't see some clips. Bad man right there. That is a bad man.
Wow, absolutely. So there's a lot of, as Joey Davis Sr., his father, shared that there are a plethora, or he's in his words or something different, but know that there's plenty of footage out there, and he just shared so much footage with me, but I just told him that I would share as well, and here's some more. There's a speech by the one and only Joy Black Ice Davis right here coming your way. Wow, very nice. Absolutely. So it's really neat to know that and to share, other people's stories, their journey, especially when they've done such great things, and just to know that he is a motivational speaker. He is looking forward to speaking engagements as well, and for more people to acknowledge his book, read his book, buy his book, of course. I'm sure it's a great book. I haven't read it just yet, but from the information that I've already been presented, and I think that video was like 3 hours long, the podcast on Saturday, a little bit over 3 hours, and there's a plethora of information shared. Of course, he's his father, and like he said in his video, his father is his number one supporter. So why not? I thought this was very imperative to show this as well. He said that he's getting this shipped back to LA. This picture here, absolutely very nice. Hmm. Yes, indeed. Look at that accomplishment right there. 133 wins over 0 losses in wrestling. And he is a Hall of Famer in wrestling, and he's from the city of Compton. Awesome, awesome. Let me stop sharing that one to share more information that was shared by his one and only number one fan, his father. Yes, indeed. I'm gonna go here, and there's more what they say literature that you can find, but I'm gonna share this video right here, right now. All right, there he is.
We're now being joined by Joey Davis.
Hey Joey, how you doing? Right over here.
What's up, man?
What's up? We haven't seen you in a while, man. Since November 2020. How have you been doing? What have you been doing during this time off?
Man, just training, preparing for, the next opportunity that, that I get. And just working hard.
What do you know about this guy, Jeff Creighton? What makes him a favorable stylistic matchup for yourself?
I know that he has a couple of losses. I mean, a couple of wins. I know that this is his first time in Bellator. Yeah.
As I mentioned, it's your first fight week in a while. Is there anything does it feel just like it always used to, or is there anything a little bit new to you, or are you just right back into it?
Yeah, just, right back into it. Nothing really changed. It's just stuff that, I just got a lot better.
Thank you, man.
You're over at Body Shop with AJ McKee, getting work in with all those savages. What's training camp been like being around all those guys? Are they in the gym working with you for this one?
Yeah. A lot of new faces, a lot of young prospects, and that's just young and ready. And, me being around that, getting that type of training with guys that's just, really hungry and want to succeed in MMA, it just made me, work that much harder. And I had to push myself each and every day and make sure that I got my butt in the gym, even on the days that I didn't want to go. So, this camp was extremely, different, just the way that, I had to push myself, I had to get it going on. And it was a lot of tough days that, how you have some days where you're just like, man, can I sit down today? Do I got to get up today? But you got to push through those days. You got to make sure that, you just keep on your goals. And being on Team Body Shop, you got to make sure that every day you have a goal.
Team Body Shop is built on MMA royalty, the bloodline of the McKees, but you guys also had wrestling royalty in there with Kennedy Monday was training with you guys. He's gone now. What happened with Kennedy Monday? Did you beat him up in the gym?
I'm pretty sure he just went back home. Yeah, he did some training with us and he was doing, really pretty well. And, but he had
had other stuff going on, so that he was pursuing, and maybe he still contacts us and stuff like that, but maybe that he will come back. But I just know he was into other stuff and still wrestling a little bit, helping out the youth and doing things like that. So he was quite busy.
That sounded like a lot of love then. No beef.
Yeah, I mean he's cool.
You're 8-0, but you've been out for a while. Do you believe in ring rust? Do you have to overcome anything extra being out for a little bit?
It's something that I hear, but I'm just going to have to find out and see, but I just know that I put a lot of work into, what I've been doing, and just pushing myself, as much as I can possible. And I just have to find out and see on Friday, but, I'm still young and really dangerous.
Joey, right here. When I saw AJ back at Bellator 290 in February, he told me that we were in for a treat with your performance. Talk to me about what fans can expect come Friday night.
Just a lot more comfortable. Black Ice Davis, I'm just, very, very prepared for every situation. Just been working on, tuning up into wrestling, or just wrestling MMA, making sure that, that I'm throwing strikes when I'm on the bottom, that I'm getting my elbows in there, that I'm just being more selfish in positions in my wrestling for MMA. Working on jiu-jitsu defense, you know what I mean? Just not making sure I'm getting caught with anything that I shouldn't get caught with. And that was why I took, the time that I did, because, earlier on in my career, and especially in practices, I had to work on these things, and, and didn't want to be in a rush or, be in a rush for anything that I'm not, getting myself prepared for. So, I took the time to get better and get selfish with the training, and making sure that I dig deep and just found out all the things that I really needed to work on.
And last question for you. Coming off this year layoff, do you plan to be pretty busy this year now?
Yeah, we'll see how it goes, and what I'll be doing, but I'm just gonna take, really this fight. I know that a lot of people want to see, what's changed with me, how the fight's gonna go. Is everything that the gym's been saying, is it true? And so I'm gonna just do the best I can this fight, and get back to what everybody wants to see.
This has probably been your longest layoffs from the time you've been to an amateur to a pro. How is it that you tend to combat the ring rust or bounce back from that?
Just be myself, like I was saying over here. I'm very dangerous. I'm very hard to beat, and going against me, you got a lot of challenges to face. You gotta worry about me taking you down. You gotta worry about me being on top. You gotta worry about my athleticism. Especially being on my feet. I'm very hard to hit. And can I be taken down? How do we get him rattled? How do we get him to be to fit in the other person's style? I'm always been so diverse where I'm in control always in my fights. So if I go out there and be in control like I am in all my fights, then I don't believe there'll be ring rust. But we'll never know until I get there on Friday. It's just something that a lot of everybody wants to see. What is he going to look like? So, and it makes me more excited. And that's just going to bring the best out of me. So I'm just 100% sure that what everybody what everybody want to see, and what I want to do, that my performance should be really well.
Thanks a lot, Jay.
Nice.
Oh, good.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna stop sharing that one. And so we're just getting a chance, many of us, to learn about Joey Davis Jr., who is a Hall of Famer in wrestling, and his father would like for him to be gifted a key to the city of Compton. And it's like what they call, like, it's almost like card stacking, if you will, but it is one of those things where you learn who wants to have the key to the city of Compton. So this is what I'm doing as a follow up to the micpt.com podcast from Saturday. All right, so this is part two. It says of a Bellator 245, a full fight, and we'll see where it goes here. Let me share that with you. Um, I mean, I'm making time, but it says 20 minutes, so I've never actually watched a wrestling match, actually. So let's check this out right here.
John, a combined 47 professional wins. You could take a look at those records and that's exactly what
All right. Well, that's a different Davis right there, because that's not our Joey Davis from Compton. So let me see. That's Phil Davis. Yes, indeed. And we have another video here. Joey Davis. Well, I read this article earlier today, but I know he has a plethora of videos out there. But I wanted to say it has been really neat, but I'm going to see about one more video here, I believe, or I have two. Okay, so let me see about this one. Let me open this video. And I think this is so precious. The father sent so much information. Okay, I shared that video. So I'm going to share this video here. He shares so much information to share that he has been working in wrestling since he was a child in Compton, and now he's a professional, and he's a Hall of Famer, and he reps Compton everywhere. And even in his interviews, that's what he shared. Even while he was in Cleveland, he represented Compton. So this is a huge in a very serious situation right here for a father who is looking to support his son even further after they've done so much together over all of these years. And here it is, this window here going forward. I want to make sure, because we shared that video right there. There we go. Let's go here, because I needed to share this video. All right. Window.
Well, he was perfect on the wrestling mats, and now he is doing the same in another sport.
Fox News Sports Ticker John Telich has the story of Joey Davis, emerging star of MMA fighting. Hi, JT.
Hi, guys. It seems like the stars are aligned for this young man, but by no means does it suggest there has not been a struggle. Overcoming a tough beginning has been the story of Joey Davis, and the future possibilities, why, they're endless.
Joey Davis, unbeaten Bellator MMA fighter, is also an author. With Edward Gallo, his story from Compton to Cleveland.
We wanted to do something for the community, just to let kids know that there's somebody from the inner city, which is Compton, trying to do positive things and positive stuff for the community.
What Joey did was survive Compton, California, where crime, drugs, and gang violence threatened to derail the lives of many young people. He made his way to Notre-Dame College and became one of the greatest wrestlers in history, 133-0, 4 national titles.
The buildings and the killings and the way the negative energy is out there, I just wanted to be in a better situation, and that just made me stronger and well off today.
It was destiny that brought him to Notre Dame College. Survivor instincts, perhaps. His will to win is embedded in his DNA.
Most importantly, it was God, my family. I had a lot of coaches here in my corner just to give me those little details that I needed to hear, those little messages that I needed to hear just to boost me up a little bit.
Through it all, a promise fulfilled. A walk across the stage this past weekend. A college graduate.
I'm really, really lost for words, thankful, all glory to God. And I'm truly happy and honored that I finished strong.
Well, Joey fought stereotypes, which I feel only those with tough mental strength can do and can overcome. Quite the young man. Great to talk to him. And we had an extended conversation, in fact, on my podcast as well. That is posted for you to hear. Just a great young fella. He's had exposure to people in his life like Snoop Dogg, who was one of his youth football coaches. The great Jim Brown was a benefactor towards him to help him to get to wrestling tournaments when he was younger. He has also worked in the Uninterrupted studios out in Los Angeles under LeBron James and Maverick Carter. A lot of the greats want to see him do well because I think he is going to do some great stuff.
Sky's the limit there for Mr. Joey.
You betcha.
Thanks,
Very
JT.
impressive.
Absolutely. And then with that in mind, I think that's a great conclusion. I did have something that I can read from ChatGPT. And just because I said that, I think it's somebody that may hear this video will say, she should have just said it anyway. She played everything else. And I think we've been on here 46 minutes, or I've been on here for 46 minutes straight. So I'm going to share as an overlay what I have here, his tattoo, as I read this, what I have found. Today, we celebrated the extraordinary achievements of Joey Davis Jr., a true Hall of Famer whose journey from Compton to the pinnacle of collegiate wrestling inspires generations. Joey's story is living proof that resilience, dedication, and belief in yourself can shatter any barrier. Let his legacy remind us all greatness can rise from any neighborhood. To every young athlete out there dreaming of the next big win, never forget that champions are made not just on the mat, but in their hearts and communities. Stay inspired, stay determined, and always remember your story matters. All right, everybody. Until next time, thank you for whoever watches this video. And just, if you have any inkling of any way to help to share with anybody that can make a difference in the manner that his father would love to have, and I would too after learning more about him. Absolutely. I don't even know anybody that has it. Yes, I know of a person, and I have met his father, and the father comes to the store. He's a great supporter of the Made in Compton store. Just to know that the plight, and if you hear the passion and just hear that over 3-hour podcast that we did with his father this past Saturday, that's why I'm up so late, making sure that this follow-up video is out there, and it's just as raw and clear as the podcast was on Saturday. That's why I went live here. Everybody knows I could have edited a video at the same time. Along his journey, there was obstacles and challenges, and just like this video is just a testament, I'm just trying to reach as many people as possible, and of course anybody that's in position to help this young man, Joey Davis Jr., Joey Black Eyes Davis Jr., Hall of Famer in wrestling from the City of Compton, to be gifted, or shall I say granted, a key to the City of Compton. All right, you all have a great morning. Is 12:48. All right. Until next time, have a great time.
Welcome to the city of dreams and grind, where stories echo through every street sign, crafted with the hustle breathing in each line. Compton spirit is one of a kind. We paint the murals with colors so bright, every block of canvas in the daylight. From beats that drop to rhymes that ignite, showing the world what we write. Made in Compton, hear the anthem roar. Talent and pride pouring out the store. We lift each other up forevermore. Made in Compton, that's what we're here for. Entrepreneurs rise with the morning sun, ideas blossoming with second to none, turning visions into gold, we just begun. Compton's making moves, no need to run. We celebrate a heritage rich and deep. In every rhythm, every dream we keep. From the hills to the valleys we leap. Compton's awakening from a restless Compton. Hear the anthem roar. Talent and pride pouring out the store. We lift each other up forever. Made in Compton, that's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. We celebrate a heritage rich and deep. In every rhythm, every dream we keep. From the hills to the valleys we leap. Compton's awakening from a restless sleep. Made in Compton, hear the anthem roar. Talent and pride pouring out the store. We lift each other up forevermore. Made in Compton, that's what we're here